Cain and O-Dog walk into the shop looking for some beer. The bibimbap owner keeps following them, and they assure her they're not going to be stealing anything. Then they go to the counter to pay for their drinks. The male owner looks scared, and he tells the boys to pay and leave because he doesn't want any trouble. However, on their way out, the owner says he feels sorry for O-Dog's mother. O-Dog gets angry, turns back, and starts shooting the man until he drops dead. Then he takes the woman to the other room to hand him the security footage to get rid of any evidence. He shoots the woman as well. Cain is terribly scared. After getting the footage, O-Dog robs the shop, but there's only $6 in the register. He finds more cash on the owner. After the Watts riots in 1965, drugs flowed into the neighborhoods. Fugly white Mayo people wanted to create controlled chaos to ensure black neighborhoods were kept in poverty. In the late 1970s, Cain's father, Tat, was selling drugs, and his mother was a drug addict. Parties at the house were frequent, and Cain grew up being familiar with crimes. However, he fondly remembers Purnell. Purnell was his father's friend, who was kind to him and even showed him how to hold a gun. One night, young Cain, wearing a onesie, saw his father kill a friend who refused to pay for all the snakes on the plane. That was the first time he saw him kill someone, but it wasn't the last. Fast forward to 1993, and Cain is about to graduate from high school. He checks up on Ronnie, Purnell's girlfriend, and their son Anthony. Since Purnell's incarceration, Cain has been looking after his family. Damn, I bet Ronnie and Cain are in an entanglement. After his parents died, young Cain ended up in the care of his very loving and religious grandparents. On graduation night, Cain and his cousin Harold head to a party. Cain can't help but envy Harold because he has money, a nice car, and is a good hustler. Inside, Cain confronts O-Dog for showing the robbery tapes to their other friends. The others are also present. Awax, Sharif, who converted to Islam and now has changed his ways, and Stacy, who used to think he'd make it big. But the only thing that got big was his back. In the middle of the night, the cousins head out with the rest of the group following behind. Suddenly, a group of people try to carjack them, threatening to shoot if they don't get out of the car. Cain is about to get out, but Harold is about to get his gun. Then, that's when the other group starts shooting them. Both Harold and Cain are shot. Their friends see what's happening and come to rescue them. They carry Cain to the car but refuse to take Harold because he's already dead anyway. Sharif refuses to leave Harold's body behind and insists on staying with him. They rush Cain to the hospital just in time to save his life. He has sustained a gunshot wound to the shoulder. When he gets discharged, Ronnie picks him up. A few days after, O-Dog pays him a visit. Grandpa lectures the two about religion and warns them about killing. They don't really care about the warning, and after a few minutes, they walk out on him. Ironic considering they're both wearing a cross. O-Dog reveals that they've found the men who gunned down his cousin, and the two agree to get back at them. Just before they execute their plan, O-Dog watches the footage again. Cain tells him to stop because he doesn't like people knowing he was there the night of the robbery. Later that evening, Awax, O-Dog, and Cain go out to hunt Harold's killer. What kind of names? They're just missing Q-Tip. O-Dog says he doesn't care who he ends up killing, and Cain can only hope that their target is not in a busy place because he doesn't want to accidentally shoot kids. Cain has never killed before, and O-Dog is suspicious if Cain even has the stomach for it. Then they find their two targets. O-Dog and Cain wear their masks and approach the two. Before their targets can escape, O-Dog and Cain open fire, killing one on the spot. The other manages to run only to be stopped and get killed by Awax. After that night, Cain learns he's capable of killing anyone if he has to. On one of his visits to Ronnie, Cain leaves a stack of money in her drawer again. Ronnie wants Cain to mind his language when he's around the boy, worried that Anthony is learning all sorts of things from Cain and his friends. Later, when she sees the money, she plans to return it to Cain. The two are playing Grand Theft Auto 6, but when Ronnie opens the door, she catches him teaching Anthony how to hold a gun. She scolds the kid and confronts Cain even though it's not loaded. Then she asks Cain to stop giving them money. Cain refuses to take it, saying Purnell looked after him when he was a kid, and he wants to do the same for them. But Ronnie tells him he doesn't owe Purnell anything, and that he should do something with his life before he ends up in prison like him. But Cain leaves without taking the money back. Unknown to Cain, O-Dog continues to show the robbery footage to their friends. Killing unarmed Asians isn't the flex he thinks it is. One morning, Chauncey receives work from a client named Nick, asking him to steal a car for him. He accepts the job, and later that night, Awax, Cain, and O-Dog get to work. They drive into the parking lot of a condominium building where Awax leaves Cain and O-Dog to steal the car while he waits for them outside. The security guard takes notice, and just before the two can leave, the authorities arrive, blocking their way. They run and hide but are soon arrested after the dogs are dispatched to look for them. But when my car gets stolen, the cops don't do anything. Because O-Dog is a minor, he is let out with just a warning, while Cain has to serve a reduced sentence since it's the first time he's been arrested. It doesn't take long before O-Dog goes back to his routine. A drug addict says he will trade a cheeseburger for drugs. O-Dog refuses. The guy offers to suck him off in exchange for the drugs, so he shoots him. With teeth like that, I don't blame him. As for Cain, with his fingerprints in the system, they find a match from the bottle found in the robbed store. A police officer questions him about the robbery, and though Cain's statements are never consistent, they don't have enough evidence to charge him. When Cain finally gets out, Stacy and Sharif accompany him to get his new car, which was stolen. That's when he first hears about them moving to Kansas. Sharif wants him to come, but Cain says there ain't nothing in Kansas. They suspect it's because of Ronnie, so Cain reminds them that Ronnie is still Purnell's girl. They don't buy it though, because Purnell is serving life without parole. Cain has changed drastically too, and now he targets just about anyone. He robs another black man, taking all of his jewelry, stereo, and his car's rim. He even makes the poor man order him some burgers while he's at it. To make money, he starts making drugs, something he learned from his father at a young age. On his way to his friend's barbecue, Cain spots and makes a move on a young woman named Elena. Why Elena looked like she allergic to herself? Sharif is always lecturing his friends in an attempt to save them, but none of them listen. One day, Mr. Butler warns Cain to change his ways before it's all too late. The old man doesn't practice Islam, but he supports his son if that is what will save him from a life of crime. He then asks Cain to reconsider what he's doing with his life, because being black in America isn't easy. On their way home, Cain brags about sleeping with Elena. Sharif warns him to be careful not to get her pregnant, so Cain assures him he's always using protection. Then they get pulled over by cops. I'm gonna say this nicely. Why these whiteys look inbred? In the back of the police car, one officer continues to beat them up. Then, as if nothing happened, drops them at a different neighborhood, hoping they get roughed up there even more. But luckily, they are brought to the hospital by the Beaners. Ronnie tries hard to explain to Anthony what happened to Cain without scaring her son. When Ronnie visits Cain in the hospital, she shares that she's found a good-paying job in Atlanta. She wants to move there, and she's hoping that Cain will go with them. She's worried that if Cain stays, he'll end up dead or in prison. Then she gives him a kiss. So Cain spends the night thinking about what he'll do with his life or steal Will Smith's girl. By the end of summer, Ronnie throws a going-away party before they leave. Everyone's getting drunk, and the little boy Anthony demands to drink alcohol. After, Chauncey is being so touchy with Ronnie. When Ronnie finds some private time with Cain, he finally agrees to go with them. When Ronnie kisses him, he tries to fight it. But then, it's not really going to work, and he soon finds himself having an entanglement with his friend's girl. Afterward, Cain spends more time with his boys. Then he sees drunk Chauncey still trying to get a kiss from Ronnie. Ronnie keeps refusing his advances. Cain then reaches his limit, snaps, and asks for O-Dog's gun. He attacks Chauncey and hits his head repeatedly with the gun until his friends drag him out of the house. Later, Elena calls Cain to tell him she's pregnant. She's sure that it's Cain's baby because she's never been with anyone else. But Cain is sure it's not his because he used protection that day. Elena spits some truth saying he's man enough to take a life, but not man enough to take care of one. Even though Elena is crying, Cain don't give a flying F, and he hangs up on her. The next day, Stacy points out how Cain beat up Chauncey the previous night. Chauncey snaps and threatens to give the footage of the robbery to the police. But Stacy doesn't take this seriously. When Ronnie and Cain visit Purnell in prison, Ronnie is obviously not happy to see him. She doesn't even reply when he says "I love you" to her. When it's Cain's turn, he cries and admits that Purnell was like a father to him. Purnell knows about the move to Atlanta and Ronnie's feelings for Cain, so he gives his blessing to Cain to break Ronnie's back, and he asks Cain to raise Anthony. When Elena's cousin confronts Cain for dodging the woman, Cain gets angry and beats him up. He continues to kick him while he's already down and bleeding. He only stops because Grandpa catches him in the act and orders him to go back inside the house. That's when the old man finally tells Cain to leave. He can't stay another day because he keeps giving them problems. They did Grandma so dirty with that wig. Cain begs to be allowed to stay until he leaves for Atlanta with Ronnie. Grandpa reminds him that they did the best they could to raise him well, but he's too far gone now. Grandma looks away and cries because Grandpa already made a decision. On the day they're about to leave for Atlanta, the cops are looking for O-Dog and Cain. O-Dog's not bothered, and Cain's about to move away for good. Sharif, Stacy, and O-Dog are all present to help them with their bags. Cain can't wait to leave, but he wants to say goodbye to his grandparents first. Meanwhile, Elena's cousin is also cooking another plan. Elena tries to tell him not to get in trouble, but he's already made up his mind. Together with his friends, they begin to hunt down Cain. Wearing masks, they drive down Cain's neighborhood looking for him. Suddenly, the group drives to the front of Ronnie's house and starts firing aimlessly. Sharif gets shot multiple times, and so does Cain. O-Dog manages to shoot back and escape. Then, in an attempt to save the boy, Cain jumps and covers Anthony. Inside the house, Stacy stops Ronnie from going out. When the firing stops, Ronnie runs out to find Anthony unharmed. Sharif is already dead, and Cain is breathing his last. At that moment, Cain remembers his grandfather's warnings. Only this time, it's already too late. This is a heartbreaking movie that shows the cycle of violence and how difficult it can be to get out of it. What did you guys think of this one?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.